The movie reviewed in this episode is rated R. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Scary Movie Nights podcast, a bi-weekly podcast where the scares are real, but the friendships are realer. This week, we will be discussing Dawn of the Dead, released in 1978. So if you remember, last episode was Dawn of the Dead 2004.
2008?
2008,
Yeah, 2000
maybe?
something?
2000 something. It was like the
2000.
aughts, you know what I mean? And this time I thought it'd be fun if we did like the original Dawn of the Dead. But anyway, that's Mariana.
That's Joanne. It's 2004, you're right. I'm wrong.
And we are your hosts for the Dawn.
Oh.
Wow, let me freaking stop.
Okay, yes, I'm dead.
Before that, let me ask you, Mar, what had you hopping on the chopper this week?
Ooh, this week I hopped on the chopper for, I can't say friendship, I said that last time.
Yeah. I mean, friendship is good.
No, but I want to do something new.
Something new and different.
I hopped on the chopper this week.
Did you eat anything interesting last week?
For... I can't remember. Suddenly I don't remember anything I have done ever. I'm hopping on the chopper this week for knitting. I've been knitting. I've been really into it.
You got new yarn
I did get
on
new yarn.
Saturday?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm starting a new big project soon, so I'm gearing up. I'm ready. I dropped many a dollar on some nice yarn.
Making it rain.
Yes. Joanne, what has you hopping on the chopper this week?
So, as you know, I have fallen into the Magic the Gathering pit trap.
Indeed.
Along with your husband.
Along with my husband, yeah. You dragged Logan down with you.
No. Actually, how did we get into Magic the Gathering? Oh, I wanted to get into Pokemon cards, and all I wanted to do was play Pokemon. But then Logan was like, dude, have you tried MTG? I was like, oh my god, not the MTG. So like I invited a really great, one of my best friends, Zach, to like help teach us because he's a really good teacher for MTG. And yeah, then that's all really that.
History.
The rest was history. That's all I wanted to play, and I was like, shit, okay, I guess I gotta get into it.
Shout out to Zach.
Shout out to Zach. And also, I have fallen into so I love Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes.
And they recently had a set, and it's really expensive set because everyone loves Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so all these cards are in like pretty big demand, so I've been spending a lot of money on that and slowly but surely building my Avatar deck. So that's what had me hopping onto the chopper this week because I'm really excited to try my new commander out. It came in the mail this weekend.
OMG, unboxing?
It got delivered.
Unboxing?
I literally should have done that. I did not think about that. But I will probably be talking about it at some point anyway. Enough about that. Let's shuffle around at an infuriating pace for Dawn of the Dead 1978.
They were not in a hurry.
They were not. They're so nonchalant.
Were taking their sweet time.
Is this what the kids mean by aura farming?
They're
with the zombies aura farm.
Living in the moment.
They are.
Or maybe they're not
unliving.
They're unliving. They're
Anyway.
dying in the moment.
So this next part of the podcast is the no spoiler section. So Mar's going to be blessing us with some trivia and facts and like a no spoiler synopsis. So if you have not watched the movie, this part is safe to listen to. And also, let me just make another disclaimer. I am dying perhaps from allergies. I know nobody has ever died from allergies. Well, okay. Actually, so let me continue.
Die from allergies, so let's try that again.
I have really bad brain fog when I have allergies. Like I just say the stupidest shit ever known to mankind.
Joanne said he was going to blow his teeth earlier. And he meant his nose.
I was like, let me blow my teeth real quick. Wait.
Blow my teeth.
You know what I mean.
Also, Joanne parked at my house, and he was like, which side of the driveway should I park on? Because my husband's coming home later. And I said, okay, park on the right. And he walks out of my house and then comes right back, and he said, where do I park again? It's real. It's real, and we're just getting started.
You know
but
what?
I'm here. I'll be here for you.
This is my next himbo milestone.
Yeah.
I think.
You're himbo maxing.
Himbo maxing right now. I just need the boobs, and that's it.
The boobs?
Well, do you know what a himbo is?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like a bimbo.
Yeah, but
it's like a himbo, yeah. So like you need like pecs, like really big muscles and stuff.
Ew.
And I'm almost there.
You kind of have those. You posted a picture the other day. I was like, those are triple D's. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So anyway, himbo maxing today.
Himbo maxing.
Mar, take it away.
Okay. During a zombie outbreak, a group of survivors hop aboard a helicopter and find refuge in a mall filled with the undead. Armed with friendship, killer one-liners, killer zombies, and a Sears, they shack up and settle in until a biker gang ruins their picturesque mall life.
My God, Sears.
Shout out to Sears, R.I.P.
You went to Sears, right? Are you like within that?
I think I went like one time.
Whoa.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We were not always at Sears, but we went to Sears fairly regularly, like in that mall.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I went to Sears one time. There's one like in like Willowbrook Mall.
Still?
There was a Sears.
Oh, there was.
And
yeah,
that's the one that I have been to. Okay. Some additional movie facts. So this was written and directed by George A. Romero. They call him the father of zombie movies. So I wrote down zombie movie dad. He also directed Night of the Living Dead. So he kind of waited a little bit between that movie and this one because he didn't want to be like type directed. He didn't want to be like, oh, that's the zombie dude. But now we're calling him the father of zombie films. So sorry, George, you failed.
George, you did fail, bro.
That's okay. We still love you. Our cast is a great group of actors that I have never seen before or heard, as per usual with the older movies. But we have Ken Foree as Peter Washington, Galen Ross as Francine and Fly Girl Parker, David MG as Stephen Flyboy Andrews, and Scott Reininger as Roger Trooper DeMarco. The director himself, so George A. Romero, actually appears in the film as a TV director at the station at the beginning where Fran works. He also cast a bunch of his buddies and collaborators and his girlfriend, who he later married, as smaller roles in the cast. So they were like TV assistants, or they were some of the motorcycle raiders that were at the mall during the film. Now, the history of this movie started in 1974 when our director, Romero, was invited by his college friend, Mark Mason, to visit Monroeville Mall. Mason's company managed this mall, and after showing Romero hidden parts of the mall, he noted the bliss of the consumers, and Mason jokingly suggested that someone would be able to survive in the mall should an emergency ever occur. And so this inspired George to write the screenplay for this film. Principal photography for this movie, which the working title at the time was Dawn of the Living Dead. That was its working title. It began in 1977 in November at the Monroeville Mall in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. They actually used a real working shopping mall for filming this movie. And they were filming during Christmas, and they eventually had to shut down and pause because they would film at night. So they would start once the mall closed at 11 p.m. and it would end at 8 a.m. When automated music would come on, and they didn't know how to turn it off.
Oh
so
my
they were
God.
just forced to stop. And I feel like in the 2004 Night of the Living Dead, they kind of have some like homage to that, because they like the music comes on at some parts of the newer film, and they have to go figure out how to turn it off.
That's true.
But they were filming during Christmas, and it actually caused them some time constraints. They had to take about 3 weeks off because during Christmas time, they were putting up Christmas decorations. So before they... apologies. Before they started filming, they would have to take down all the Christmas decorations, then film, then put everything back up.
Oh my God,
before
that
morning
sucks.
time. So they actually ended up not shooting there for about 3 weeks during Christmas time. The airfield scenes were filmed at Harold W. Brown Memorial Airfield in Monroeville, which is an airport about 2 miles from the mall, which is still in use. The scenes of the group's hideout at the top of the mall, those were a set that was built at Romero's then production company, The Leighton Image. The elevator shaft was located there as well, because there was an actual area in the mall that existed like that would work for the film. Okay, so for makeup and effects for this film, it was Tom Savini. He was actually offered the chance to do special effects and makeup for the first zombie film that Romero did, Night of the Living Dead, but then he was drafted for the Vietnam War.
Shut up, that's crazy.
So he couldn't do makeup and effects for that, but they brought him back. This was his debut as the makeup and effects artist for Dawn of the Dead. He had a crew of 8 to assist him in applying gray makeup to 200 to 300 extras each weekend during the shoot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it kind of shows. Like, I bet you they were going through these people and just painting them gray as fast as they could.
Yeah.
Many of the featured zombies became part of the fanfare, and so they would give them nicknames based on their looks or an activity. So they had a machete zombie, there was a sweater zombie, and then I distinctly remember Nurse Zombie. She was like shuffling all over the place.
I remember Nun Zombie.
I remember
Nun Zombie.
Nunby. I remember
Nunby.
Baseball Player Zombie as well.
I remember Baseball Player Zombie, yeah.
So that
BBZ.
BBZ. That begs the question, Joanne, what would be your zombie name? Like, what would be your zombie identifier?
I'm
Blank zombie.
manifesting Himbo Zombie.
Himbo
Zombie.
Himby.
Oh, that is way cuter than I anticipated. What would your zombie name be?
I feel like I would be like knitting, and then like my knitting needles would be like stuck to a weird part of my body, and so I could be like knitting zombie.
Nice.
I could be arts and craft zombie.
You know how zombies do things that they instinctively would do in life?
I'd be like,
you would knit the sickest sweater, bro.
I would knit the sickest
You would have
zombie
literally
sweaters.
all the time in the world.
Literally. Honestly, kind of the dream.
Shit, do we want to do zombies? Do we want to be zombies?
Should we be zombies?
Should we be zombies, y'all?
Leave a comment if you think we should become zombies. Now, during the filming, a cast of Ross's head, so she played Fran, was made, and it was initially going to be used for the original ending of the film, but it ended up being used at the start of the film. But I'm going to save this fun fact for the end as well, because I don't want to spoil anything. Now, I'm going to come back to the theme. So this movie has incredible ratings. It has 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. It has 4 stars on Letterboxd, which is pretty good. I feel like I usually don't see a movie go past 4.
Yeah.
But
there's always haters.
There's always haters. But one of the major themes was its commentary on this like material society and like consumerism and capitalism. And so we can kind of get back to this, because a big thing that happens in the movie is like what you were saying earlier. It's like the people are doing what they know. So I would knit. But the people in the film, you know, at one point, Fran is like, why do they come here? Why are they coming to the mall? And Flyboy's like, it's what they know. It's like how they live their lives, and it's what they know. That's why they're attracted to this
to them
place.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. So maybe we can like expand on that in a little bit later. But I'm not sure if I'm smart, big brain enough to tackle the theme of social commentary on material society, but we'll try. Okay. The outdoor scene where hunters, emergency crew, and soldiers are shooting at zombies was done using local volunteers. Several local hunters arrived on scene with their own weapons. The local National Guard division showed up in full gear, and local emergency crew, police, fire, and ambulance were all present, and they all volunteered to be in this movie.
That's why it looked so genuine.
Yeah.
Or genuine.
Genuine.
Because I was like, dang, they really did really good depicting that, but they were all real.
They were all real.
That's pretty cool.
Now, extras who appeared in this film were reportedly given $1 in cash, a donut, and a Dawn of the Dead t-shirt. I'm hoping it was like $1 in cash, like an hour or something.
I would have been like, hell
I would have done it for the t-shirt. I would have done it for the t-shirt, and I would have done it for the experience. But that's
and
really
the
funny.
Donut.
And the donut. I would have done it for the donut as well. You're right. I would have done it for the dollar.
Yep.
Okay, now the bit in the movie where Roger slides down between the escalator. So they're in this empty mall. Sears is totally empty. And Roger slides between the two escalators. It was Scott Reininger's idea, and Savini, who was the makeup artist, recalls how he and other cast members did the same thing during the film's production for fun. But you can't really do this anymore because usually escalators have like little guards along the center to prevent people from doing that and having any fun.
They hate fun. This is what it is.
They hate fun and they hate lawsuits. Dario Argento, he was an Italian sort of like investor, but he was an admirer of George A. Romero's work and vice versa. He heard that Romero was contemplating a sequel to Night of the Living Dead, and he insisted that he come to Rome, where he lived, to write the script without any distractions. Romero knocked out the script in 3 weeks. And though Argento read the script as it came out, he left all the writing to Romero. He also provided most of the film's soundtrack, and in return for the rights to edit the European version of the film, assisted in raising the necessary funds.
So I don't know if you know this, but Dario Argento is like really well known for the films that he does.
Oh,
it's a little niche because it's like
is he a director?
Horror. Yeah, like he's done films and stuff like that. And so when you get like really into the niche community of horror, like Dario Argento is one of the names that like people will bring up and be like, they're like amazing films. I don't think I've ever seen a Dario Argento film, to be honest, which is kind of sad, but yeah, like
I think this counts, sort of. If you watch the European version, then you would have seen it because he got the rights to edit the European version of the film, whereas Romero did the English version of the film.
Yeah, I think he did Suspiria.
Oh.
But I don't know, maybe could be wrong about that. I don't have internet at your house for some reason.
Okay, sorry. Okay. Now, several members of the marauding, am I saying that right? I feel like I can't speak sometimes.
It's okay.
Sometimes my English fails me. Band of bikers were played by members of the local chapter of the Pagans Motorcycle Club. The elaborate motorcycles they drove were their own, and some of the zombies in the film were actual amputees, and that reminded me of The Thing, where they also used amputees for some of the scenes.
Oh, yep.
Some of the actors playing zombies in the movie would frequently get drunk at a late-night bar called the Brown Derby, which was in the mall. One night, they stole a golf cart and crashed into a marble pillar, causing $7,000 worth of damage.
That is so random.
How did they pay for all that damage when they were being paid $1, a donut, and a t-shirt?
Well, I thought that was the volunteers who showed up for that shot, like the...
I think it was the actors playing zombies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it was
extras.
like in the mall. They were extras. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's really funny. So, they probably
They're like
actually...
if we all pull together our $1.
They probably lost money if they were going drinking every night and they were getting paid dollars. They actually probably lost money on this film.
This was not a lucrative venture
Literally. Okay, so this film earned $900,000 on its opening weekend in the U.S. After 4 weeks, it had grossed $5.1 million in the U.S. and Canada. And it went on to gross $16 million with rentals of $6.8 million. So it made a ton of money. I didn't actually write its original budget. Let me check. Dawn. $640,000. USD.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, at the time.
That's
especially. A lot of money. At the time, $6.8 million. I wonder if this is already adjusted. That's still like a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned prior, this movie has 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's kind of a horror classic. It was more popular than the original Night of the Living Dead, which is this is sort of a sequel to that. And it kind of set the stage for zombie films and a lot of the tropes that we see in them. And I, as a self-proclaimed zombie film lover, connoisseur, I'm surprised I hadn't seen this, but I can definitely see the influence and impact that this film has had on all the zombie movies that I love. And now seeing this movie, it makes me appreciate the remake Dawn of the Dead a little bit more.
Yeah,
I think I still maybe enjoyed the remake a little bit better, but we can get to that after the spoiler section, rather.
Yeah. All right. Are we good?
I'm ready.
Excellent. Thanks, Mar. All right, now we're moving on to our spoiler section, so that if you haven't watched this movie and you care about being spoiled, pause the episode, go watch the movie, come back and press play. All right, ready?
I'm ready. Are you back? Listener, viewer? Okay.
We can wait.
Awesome. I will not wait. I'm going to start. Okay, so this is what I skipped over earlier. According to the original screenplay, Peter and Francine, they were going to kill themselves. Peter was going to shoot himself, which we kind of see at the end. He's kind of like about to, and then he stops. And then Fran actually was going to stick her head into the path of the rotating helicopter blades.
Dang.
The ending credits would run over a shot of the helicopter blades turning until the engine winds down, implying that the two would not have gone far if they had chosen to escape. But during production, they decided to change the ending of the film. Much of the lead-in to the two suicides remains in the film. As Francine leans out of the helicopter upon seeing the zombies approach, this is like at the very end where they're like the zombies are coming up somehow climbing the ladder, which like, okay, sure. I guess these zombies climbed ladders professionally in their lives and know how to do that or whatever. But she's seeing them come up, and she's kind of like, sort of getting ready to put her head in the blades of the helicopter. And then we also see Peter putting the gun up to his head, ready to shoot himself, but then he ends up fighting and pushing through the zombies, who, by the way, are some flimsy-ass zombies.
Yeah.
They're just pushing them, and it was really funny. I was surprised by how funny the movie was to me, especially because I feel like the zombie movies that I have seen and that have really made an impact are always movies with like fast zombies, and these are slow zombies or slombies, as I've been calling them. So this just was kind of funny to me, and it wasn't as scary to me as like your World War Z zombies, who were like crazy, ridiculous fast.
Yeah.
But anyway, our two final people, final girl and guy, they end up actually just flying off into the sunset.
Into the dawn.
Into the dawn. Oh. We also have like a little bit of foreshadowing at the beginning of the movie when they stop to gas up the helicopter. We have like a zombie who climbs up top of some boxes and his head gets cut off by the helicopter blades.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of supposed to be a little bit of foreshadowing to like how Fran was supposed to die at the end of the film, but they changed their minds on it, so we end up just seeing our Fran and Peter kind of fly off into the sunset. I love that she decided she wanted to learn to fly the helicopter.
Yeah.
I was like, that wouldn't have occurred to me at all.
Really?
But she's like, what if I should? And I was like, shit, you're right.
Oh my god.
You're right.
Maybe
oh my
you're
god,
right.
you're so smart. I feel like they low-key all should have learned, because how do you know that like the helicopter flyers are going to survive, you know? Everyone should have learned, in my opinion. And now that's why I mentioned earlier, they made a cast of Ross's head. She played Francine, and that was supposed to be used in the original ending of the film. But it ended up just being used as an exploding head at the beginning. The head was filled with food scraps, and it was shot with an actual shotgun to get it to explode. One of the unintentional standout effects was the bright fluorescent color of the fake blood. Oh, this wasn't a spoiler. I could have said this earlier. But they used this bright red fake blood. And the makeup effects man, Savini, did not like it. He was a super big opponent. He was like, this looks really silly. But Romero thought it added to the film.
I so agree.
It emphasized the comic book feel of the movie.
I love the blood.
I'm with it. I love the blood. Okay. Now that's it for my spoiler section, and
some iconic lines.
Yeah. Obviously, pretty iconic. When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk the earth.
Period.
Iconic. That was in the movie poster. We also have the conversation between Fran and Flyboy Steven. What are they doing? Why do they come here? Some kind of instinct, memory of what they used to do. This was an important place in their lives. And then my favorite, we got this by the ass.
And when you got it by the ass.
You got it.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, that was my favorite line right before our friend Roger gets bit. He did not, in fact, have this by the ass.
He didn't.
Unfortunately.
Sorry, bro. What did you think of this movie?
I liked it.
Okay.
It was slow.
Yeah, very.
It was very slow.
Just like the zombies.
Just like the zombies. Super meta. I really liked the characters.
Yeah.
They didn't feel very tropey.
Yeah.
They felt like pretty unique. Also,
they felt like normal humans.
They felt like normal people, and like they would react in a sort of normal way. Like 2 of them are cops, so they have some sort of like training, I guess you could say.
And they're not just, aren't they like special ops? Like,
yeah, they're like military or something.
Like, yeah, they're like the special cops that you send in to like storm
SWAT.
places, like SWAT and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what they felt like to me.
So they definitely have like experience, and they take charge, but we also have kind of Fran, who at first I was like, girl, you go girl, give us nothing. But then she kind of pulls it together. We find out she's pregnant, and she decides she wants to learn how to fly the helicopter, and she wants to learn how to shoot, because Flyboy, terrible shot by the way, when he almost shot Peter, girl, what are you doing? Why wouldn't you yell and be like, hey,
Mariana,
duck or something?
Oh my god, I hate this character so much. I mean, like, I know that I literally just said they were like normal humans, but I have never seen a more incompetent character in a zombie movie ever. Yeah. It's maybe like comparable to the Sally's brother in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That it was giving very much that. Yeah. So annoying. It was like, he's not even that cute.
For like half the movie, we thought he was Dr. House. We were like, that's House, right? And then we looked it up. I thought it was really interesting. Like, you're right. I think he might be more annoying than Sally's brother. Sally,
wait! Sally, don't leave me!
Because you know what? At least, he was a disabled person. He couldn't really fend for himself. His sister is like his lifeline. Yeah. But Flyboy Steven, girl, what are you doing? First of all, God. You don't know what you're doing, and it's your fault you even died. Like, if they had just hidden up in the attic when the motorcycle people came, it would have been fine,
like,
but you know what happened?
Like he was told,
but you know what happened. You know what it was. His ego was bruised because he proposed to Fran, who was like, right now is not a good time, mostly because we're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. So I think his ego was bruised, and he was like, I have to protect this. This is my mall, and this is where I live with my not wife, because she won't marry me.
Horrible,
and literally ruined everything. They built a wall, and it was they wouldn't have known a thing. Those people wouldn't have known a thing, and they would have been just fine, and there would been enough things at Sears for you to have. And it was I was really annoyed, and I was
also
really peeved.
Peter pushed his way through a bunch of zombies, went up the stairs and on the helicopter. You trying to tell me right now you can't handle 5 zombies in an elevator?
Literally.
Just leave.
Literally.
And actually,
he was shot, but okay.
At the beginning,
I thought he was being a wee. I was like, dude. Like, man up.
At the beginning, when they hadn't got to the mall yet, there was the one freaking zombie who, by the way, he could not shoot. He could not shoot this zombie.
Could not.
And then he went at him with like a hammer or something, and he threw his whole body into this zombie and fell. I'm like, you have a hammer. Just swing the thing at the thing's head. It's going like 0.1 mile per hour. So it's a literal snail with 2 legs.
Literally. You could just walk away. Just walk away from
literally,
it.
Just walk away. I'm not about that.
Just push it to the side.
Which brings me to my next point. That humans really brought the end upon themselves, I feel like, to some extent. Because the zombies were really slow. They weren't really that strong.
Yeah. But it's greed.
It's greed, and I think it was like about assholes too.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
you had that guy, especially. Okay, so I love the beginning scenes.
Yeah.
The one where like France at the news station, and that gives her
Yeah.
background, and Stevens, or no, Stevens.
Yeah.
And then it gives Peter and Roger's background as cops in the building, like the apartment building. I love the apartment building scene because it really sets up what the movie, like it also like calls back to the original movie, because the original movie, a lot of people say, is about like racism and how we deal with that as a society. This scene was very much giving that, because you had a very obviously racist cop who really just wanted to go in and shoot people of color in this apartment building.
Yeah.
And was going to shoot people of color who weren't zombies until they stopped him, you know?
Yeah.
He was being like a real monster, basically. I enjoyed those two scenes because it really set up the characters. It made me care for them a little bit more. It told me about who they were. And then when they made decisions later on, or maybe lost one or two, it meant something.
Yeah.
Because like these people had lives before this, you know? I really want to read you a quote.
Okay.
That I looked at. It's like from a review in Letterboxd.
Okay.
And it's too long to put in the thing, but I thought it was really like deep, and like I was like, okay, let's reflect on that. I always hate it when Roger gets bit after leaving his bag in one of the trucks they're moving, because up until then, it seems like they were doing great and having about as much fun as one can during the apocalypse. Just running around with your friends, playing with guns, looting shit, driving a Volkswagen hatchback around inside a mall with no real danger. Basically, the funnest shit you could do with your friends with zero consequences. However, on this rewatch, it struck me that Roger has to die because he was having too much fun. As he starts to lose it, he gets more gleeful around the zombies, starts shooting them with no real reason, and eventually starts muttering, "Bastards, you dumb bastards." Exactly like the deranged SWAT guy who just wants to murder black people from the ghetto Holocaust scene in the beginning. Romero is warning us about the essential dehumanization that comes from robotically shooting people or former people with total abandon. The less we see the zombies as us, the less human we become. And it kind of ties back to also like, because the zombies are so slow and weak, really what gets you is like the people embracing the zombies and being like, oh my god, like please don't go, and then they get bit and they turn into zombies. It's almost like that compassion, that empathy, that yearning for connection is also what drives the spreading of the zombie, whatever it is. We don't really know if it's a virus or a curse at that point. I just thought it was really interesting, like the idea of slow zombies. Yeah. Because fast zombies, it's like it's a physicality thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the slow zombies, there has to be a reason for you to turn into a zombie, whether it's metaphorical or like a reason in the movies. So I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I think this is really great, because also later there's a scene where they're getting a little bit of like TV broadcast every once in a while, and there's this one scene where it's this broadcast, and it's this guy essentially saying like, we should just bomb all these like big hubs, like these big cities, to kill the zombies, even if it kills innocent people. And I think like that's something we do in war today, where we'll attack at the expense of innocent civilians, but we're attacking this thing that we perceive as an other.
I mean, that's happening right now.
Yeah, literally right now.
It's horrible, honestly. You're so right about that.
Yeah, but it was really interesting, and the whole, commentary on like material society and greed and consumerism was really interesting, because now that I'm thinking about it, like Roger, like he has a Sears fully available to him. Like he does not have to go back.
Hell, he has a whole mall
for his bag.
Right.
He can get another bag with more things in it, but he's overconfident, and you're right, he's having too much fun, and he thinks he's kind of like immune and vulnerable to the zombies, and that kind of does him in, and then you get to slowly see him kind of die and become a zombie,
transform into, so like the consumerism transformed him into a zombie, which is an allegory for this capitalistic consuming. That's so true. We're thinking. I really like the slow parts of the movie too, actually, even though they are really slow and a little painful to get through. But I feel like the longer you watch it, the more you can sympathize with Francine. Like one of her quotes was like, "What have we done to ourselves?"
Yeah.
You know, like is this is this a life worth living? Just surviving? So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think just surviving is a life worth living?
No, I always tell Logan's always like, oh my god, if there's a zombie apocalypse, like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go to Brian's house because he has guns. I'm like, sir, I'm gonna kill myself. I don't want to live. I don't want to live like that. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, if you're around and like there's like sort of a little bit of people, like maybe, but like once it's bad and like, you know, also like how does the mall have electricity this whole time?
It's nuclear.
They've got a fuck ton of solar panels out the back.
They got a shit ton of radiant and palladium up there.
Like,
and
I as soon as like I don't have electricity, like what am I gonna do if I get my period? I don't know how to use a Diva cup and they scare me. So, so what am I gonna do then? So no, I don't think that's living. I think that is just surviving, and I think they're kind of like making do with what they have, and they're making do pretty okay. Like they kind of like decorate the place really nice, and they have like plants and like a really nice couch, and they're like they have all this money that they like quote unquote gamble with, even though like obviously like money means nothing at this point. But then it does anything mean anything at that point? Like they have this like nice candlelit dinner, and I remember that scene where they're kind of, well, at the beginning they're like, oh, you know, are you two boyfriend girlfriend? And they're kind of like, well, yeah, sorta.
It's a situationship.
It's a situationship, literally.
Especially now.
Yeah, they're in a situationship, and it seems like Flyboy's like, oh, you know, well, this is it now. Like, we're gonna get married. She's like literally the only woman for me, quite literally. And Fran doesn't see it that way. She kind of sees through everything that's going on, and she's like, what the fuck? Like, no, I'm not gonna marry you like this. Like,
yeah, she's probably the only one that didn't necessarily lose it. And maybe even Peter.
I thought Peter and Fran were gonna be endgame for a little bit there.
Yeah, me too.
But then it ended up.
And it kind of seems like they might still be even after credits roll.
Yeah, but we don't know if they even survive after that point. I think there is another one after this movie, right?
Maybe, I want to say there's, but I don't know if it's like a direct sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really cool because George A. Romero, and listener, please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a fan of zombie films, so I don't know all the lore, but like, it's really cool how he does stories. They're like vignettes into different people's lives, so we don't necessarily know what happens to someone else, like as they move to the next zombie apocalypse or whatever. And I think that is impactful. I don't know if that I would like a serialized zombie movie to where it's like, oh, I know that character, this is a direct sequel.
Yeah, I mean, because you have at the beginning the scene where they're first getting on the helicopter, and you have like another group of people who are hopping into like a boat, and they're like, where are you going? And they're like, well, we're gonna shoot for an island, like we're trying to find an island. And it's like, what happened to them? Like, where did they go?
Right. And that's kind of a cool part about it too. It's like you meet people and they're like, you don't know. Who knows? We don't know what those guys are. Steven is the most infuriating character ever.
John is just reading from his notes.
Literally, they were worse off with him. Except for flying the helicopter, I guess. Also, my toxic trait is immediately thinking, I'll just fly it.
I disagree. I fully disagree. There is so many buttons on that thing, John. Which button are you going to press first, huh? I don't know. There's like little switches and shit. Like, no.
That was his only
fully,
trait.
I'm like, we need him. He sucks, but we need him.
Suppose.
I'm looking at the questions you asked.
Mar, what would your zombie outfit be? What would your zombie outfit be?
I'm just gonna go with like my favorite outfit, but like I feel like my luck would have it that like the zombie apocalypse would happen on a day where I'm not wearing a cute outfit, and I would just end up wearing an ugly outfit for eternity. But ideally, on a perfect day, I think I would be wearing my little overalls and like a cute t-shirt and Yeah, that would be my zombie
That's
outfit.
cute,
I'll be like a
yeah.
cute little alt overall, not like in a farmer way, but like in a cool way.
Yeah.
In a cool overall way. Joanna, what would be your zombie outfit? Your zombie outfit would be little short shorts.
My zombie outfit would be nothing. You're welcome.
Okay,
giving
28 days later. Yeah. Wait, Bone
What's his
Temple
name?
is out on
Samson?
Netflix now. We need to watch
We
it
need to
because we
watch
still
Bone
haven't seen
Temple.
it.
No,
Have you not seen it either?
we haven't seen Bone Temple. We haven't seen Bone
Can I
Temple.
change my submission for Scary Movie Night
Yes.
to Bone Temple actually? Has someone else suggested
Is it
it?
technically a sequel? I think we would need to watch 28 Years Later first,
Shoot.
and then that one.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll
Which
keep
is
it.
actually a really good film. I'll
Yeah.
suggest 28 Years Later. It's a good film.
Okay, yeah, I liked 28 Years Later a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, I'll keep mine.
And then one more question for you.
Okay.
Is this the Breakfast Club of horror? Because it's giving Breakfast Club low key.
Yeah, when they're running around the mall.
Yeah.
That was
It's
really
like
funny.
it's like a buddy movie.
Yeah.
Like. Anyway, that's what
Yeah,
ran
in
into.
a way,
That's what
yeah.
popped into my head because it is a goofy film. To be
Yes.
honest, it's not really that scary.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like there's existential dread and whatever, but there's like a lot of lighthearted moments and.
The zombies are really silly and they're just kind of
Yeah.
like running into things and just shuffling
Yeah.
around, and they're painted gray and they look not great.
I mean, they're like blue, bro.
They're
They're like
blue,
blue
yeah.
gray.
Yeah.
And okay, I think we're spoiled though because like now
Yes,
we have all these prosthetics
Yeah.
and like things we can do with makeup, and we've established this like decrepit, rotting zombie.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like especially the George A. Romero zombies, like they were never like really decomposing zombies. They were
Yeah.
just people who have
Or
lost
they weren't
agency.
like I almost said biblically accurate zombies. They weren't like hyper realistic wounds zombies.
Yeah.
Like at least in because
I mean, like,
Night
some
of
of
the
them
Living
had
Dead
arms
was
off
black
and
and white.
Yeah.
So this was like an opportunity for them to kind of like put some color on the zombies.
Yeah.
What do they look like? And I think they went for like, what would someone look like if they were dead, and so they would look pretty like pale or grayish.
Blue, yeah.
But now we're pretty accustomed to like zombies with like very hyper realistic looking wounds,
Right.
and like the effects that we can see now, or the practical effects that we have now, makeup and stuff, is like pretty cool and like gnarly, and it looks pretty realistic oftentimes. So
I needed to look up this name because I forget, and I've never watched this, but like one of the first, if not the first, zombie movie is called White Zombie, which is actually a problematic film. Like
Okay.
it's pretty
Oh.
racist.
okay.
And like the lore behind that zombie goes back to like the voodoo stuff, where it's like somebody can actually become a zombie through this like black magic witchcraft moment.
Oh.
And there's a lot of like race issues with that particular film, but like I think it was also kind of like throwing back to that moment of they're not necessarily like super decomposed yet,
Yeah.
because you can't make a voodoo zombie from like a decomposing corpse.
Yeah.
I think it has to be pretty fresh. So I think that
It's
that's
giving
what this was giving.
Frankenstein.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the slow parts of this film really give it some like this feeling of like impending hopelessness
Yeah.
and doom, to where it's like, oh my god, this is going on forever, and like
Yeah. Oh, like and
what's
also
nothing really-
imagine like I feel like we're so used to having things that like distract us. We have our phones and we scroll on reels, or we have the Nintendo Switch and we play video games, or we read books. And they didn't really have a whole lot of stuff like that with
Yeah.
them. And I thought it was kind of interesting, like the scene where Flyboy has the TV on and it's just static, but they're just hoping for anything, any broadcast from anybody. And Fran is like, there hasn't been anything in days. And she goes and turns it off, and then he like gets back up and turns it back on. And they're clearly feuding, and Peter's just there. Peter's just like, awkward. Trouble in paradise, except it's not paradise. But I thought that was really interesting. They're kind of like grasping for straws, but at that point, they're kind of like stagnant because there was like all this action at the start and they're kind of like building this life. They're like taking the zombies out, they're killing them, they're slowly putting them all in the freezer. Why would they put them in the freezer, by the way? Because I feel like why would you want them in there with your food? Like, toss them out somewhere else.
Bro, just take them out up to the roof.
That would be a lot of work, but like something. You have time.
You have time. What else are you going to freaking do?
That was really crazy to me. Why would you? But anyway, a lot of stuff is kind of happening at first, and like a lot of adrenaline and like crazy things are happening in the world, and eventually it becomes very normal and it becomes bland, and you're just like kind of grasping for anything at that point, or anyone else.
It's like, now what?
It's just been the three of them, because at that point, Roger's dead. So it's just like, let me look at any other face. Let me hear anyone else's voice. Like, it's just the three of us. And I can imagine that would be difficult.
Yeah, I think so too. It's a very like harrowing film in that way.
Yeah.
But it's not like scary per se.
Yeah.
You know
it makes you think big thoughts.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like, I can't sleep tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do the good, the bad, and the spooky.
Let's do it.
What's your good?
I like the zombies because I like zombie movies. I did really enjoy the actors, like the characters. I enjoyed the characters, and I love dated special effects. I love like dated what are they called, practical effects. So like fake heads blowing up, and like when the zombie's head was cut off by the helicopter blades, like I was living for that. I love that shit. I love the bright red blood. I thought it was excellent, and I loved Roger. He was my favorite, and I was really sad he died, even though it did seem like he was flying too close to the sun. He was like very confident, and he's like, "We got this in the ass." No, honey, you don't have it in the ass.
Well, they got you in the ass.
They got you kind of in the ass.
Roger, the reason why I loved Roger so much was because he was one of the first characters to show compassion.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
They killed his other boyfriend.
Yeah.
It was funny because
they're polygamous.
Well. So like at the beginning, he's got they're like trying to break into this building or whatever, because there's people that are holed up in there that have guns, and like it's like a terrorist thing going on, and so he and one of his partners or whatever in the force, boyfriend. He's like new. He's like brand new.
Yes.
And so he's like, stick with me, whatever. He's like trying to watch out for him, but then he gets shot and
right
killed.
Away.
And Roger is just like sitting there, and like, first of all, the trauma of whatever that is, and then the trauma of having to shoot people in the face, like these zombies, basically, because at that point he still sees them as people.
Yeah.
And him
they don't know
having
what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know what's going on, and so he's very human. Like you can see this like conflict inside of him, and it's very relatable. He's a very good character. Yeah, I
loved him. So what about you? What's your good?
So just to go back on the beginning two sequences, the show, the slow downfall of society, like I really loved those scenes. It establishes like, oh, this movie is not just about zombies. Like it's about something. It's about society crumbling, and and that. So I love that
as humans, as
and
people.
Who we are as humans and people. And I think that the apartment building scene is incredibly impactful, and I would honestly just show that to anybody and be like, just if you watched any part of this movie, watch this. I like the small cast. I really like the 4-person cast. It feels more intimate, and it feels more suffocating. I also really love the zombies. They are such silly gooses. They're so silly. The zombies are great. These zombies are cute. Also, malls.
I love malls.
Dude, malls were I miss mall culture.
So whenever he says that line, and I know that this is like maybe on some level, or not maybe, it's supposed to be a commentary on like consumerism, but I do feel like malls in a way, or at least to me, are like a third space where you can go and be. And like that was a place that I would go to hang out with my friends, and we didn't have any money, so we weren't there to shop. We would like get a sweet little treat or something, maybe like a Auntie Anne's pretzel or something.
And you could just go and try on some clothes and like look cute.
And walk around and have fun. And so when he said that, I was like, yes, you could think about it as like buying stuff, and I love buying things, and I get a rush buying things, and I definitely I like buying things in capitalism. It has me by the neck or whatever, but also like the mall to me was a place to go hang out and look at stuff, and I guess kind of get away
low-key,
a little bit. Yeah, it's what I had. It's what I had at the time. Okay.
What's your bad?
My bad. The movie, it does kind of take me out a little bit how like silly and goosey the zombies are. So like, yeah, this wasn't like really effective as like scaring me necessarily. I do think that it's kind of like a little bit comical in a charming way. And the movie has other things to say. Like, I think, the purpose of this movie is not to like scare you, but it's more of like a...
Well, they also have that silly little song that plays when you're looking at the zombies.
Yes.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, and in a way, are we all zombies? Are we moving through the world like this, or are we actually seeing what's going on around us? Interesting.
Ask yourself that next time you go to bed.
That's scary, and that's bad. Joanne, what's your bad?
My bad is Steven. I really hate his character. I don't think he had any redeeming qualities except maybe fly helicopter. I think he's an idiot, a terrible shot, and probably bad at sex. So I don't know what.
I mean, she wouldn't marry him. So.
There's
literally two men left in the world, and he's one of them. And she's like, no.
She was like, "Oh, Steven, just go towards the light."
Yeah.
What's your spooky?
My spooky was being stuck with three men.
Oof, yeah.
That's spooky, but also just, I guess, being cut off from society, and that would be hard, especially because we interact with a lot of people. We live in a pretty big city, and on the day to day, I see a lot of people. I interact with a lot of people. I'm used to hearing people talk and move around. I mean, I guess the zombies are shuffling around, but it wouldn't be the same. And so I think that'd be really difficult. Just in general, like, it's a scary idea, and I really don't want a zombie apocalypse to happen. No, thank you.
If it does happen, I would like it to be slow zombies.
I would agree.
If it was slow zombies, I'd probably go about my day.
I would probably just like stick around. But if
I think most of us
zombies,
would adapt to slow zombies.
Sure.
Like
as we do to many things.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like a mosquito season.
It's
like, it's zombie season. Watch out.
Isn't it crazy how we like adapt and normalize things? I feel like that's something that humans naturally do, but like there's everything that's happening in the world right now, like war and genocide and all these things, and we're kind of like moving through it.
Yeah. Like, I'm playing Magic the Gathering, you're knitting, and it's like there are atrocities happening in the world.
Yeah.
Right, the Epstein files. When I think about the Epstein situation, how people could do that to others, especially innocent people, like young people.
Yeah.
Anyway, for me, the spooky part was other people, like not the zombies.
Yeah, definitely.
But some of the characters literally watched other people being real monsters, and those were the most difficult to fight. Like the biker gang, for example, they just sow in chaos.
For the sake of chaos.
Because some of them died, you know, like they could literally have minded their own business and
been fine.
But the slow descent into hopelessness was pretty harrowing to see, because it's kind of relatable, you know, like at what point are you just like, what's left?
Yeah.
You know,
what does it mean to live? Like what you were saying earlier.
Yeah, like is this
surviving?
Living versus surviving? Yeah, and how do you then build yourself a better life, or do you find somewhere? So that's the hard part to think about. Also the zombie bites. Like, what the hell? It was like cake. Like, these zombies would take a bite, and it was like a whole ass chunk.
I like at one point there's a zombie, and he's just holding like a forearm and eating it like a turkey leg.
Munching on it. But also, just like when they bite, like at one point someone gets bit in the neck, and it takes a whole chunk of their neck out.
Yeah, crazy.
I'm like, that's crazy. You like hardly see that in zombie movies sometimes, you know, like even in Dawn of the Dead, you would see people like biting, but it wasn't like this biting. It was like a whole chunk, you know?
Yeah.
So that was pretty crazy. They got in there.
Yeah. Savini came home from Vietnam. Sorry. That's not funny. But he said, I'm going to cook.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right. Let's rate this movie by how many bandanas you'd wear to the mall rating party. Yeah, mall rating party, everybody.
I would wear 3.5.
Okay.
I think this movie is of great importance to the genre, and what it has to say and like the commentary that it's making is like fantastic. But I rate movies by me liking
your
them.
enjoyment.
My enjoyment.
Which is fair.
Yeah. I'm not apologizing. I'm just saying. Yeah. But 3.5 bandanas. What about you?
I'm gonna rate it 4.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 bananas out of 5. I think this is a really cool film. It's like silly, goofy, existential, and it has a lot to say, and I like that, and it's sad, and I enjoyed this movie. I've seen it twice now, once in a movie theater, and I do think that the big screen is a good format for it. I really liked it in the big screen, All right, let's look at some Letterboxd reviews. Mar,
okay.
You want to go first?
I will go first. Okay, this is by Justy, who liked it. There's no stars here. I'll never understand why that dude had to check his blood pressure that bad. Oh my god. That was so funny.
He was like, get out of here. I'm just trying to
They like push him off and he leaves, and then he comes right back to the blood pressure machine where his arm is inevitably removed from his body.
Yeah, and I'm like,
so funny.
Any reading you get anyway right now would be sky high.
Inaccurate.
It would be inaccurate.
My guy, come on.
You need to do it at least 3 times after. Anyway, the next one is by Liz. We give it 5 stars. Mm-hmm. Can't believe George Romero made a zombie movie about a polycule.
Listen, there's no way that it's just like 4 or 3 of them, and they weren't eventually going to start exploring each other's bodies.
They were gonna, even the guys would be like,
like, come on. Like, what if we just, who's gonna know?
Yeah, literally nobody else.
Okay, this is by Kyler, who gave it 4.5 stars. Man, Black Friday sure was chaos last night.
This one's by Anna Simush. Give it 4 stars. I miss the 80s. I was born in 2001.
Yes. This was by Veggie Dogtron, who gave it 5 stars. I sit under a tree on the first nice day of spring. I move my knife to reveal Peter plus Roger inside a heart carved into the bark. I close my eyes and sigh wistfully.
I'm telling you, they were boyfriends.
They were boyfriends. No, I agree. They were boyfriends and they were besties.
Yeah.
And you could really tell, like, the fact that it was Peter who had to like shoot him, and he felt like that was his duty. That was
Like, I honestly, I know I'm like half kidding honestly when I make those types of comments, especially in older movies, because like homosexual relationships were not omitted but censored for so long that directors and writers had to hide homosexual relationships,
sneak them in there
without explicitly saying or showing anything. And I really do think, maybe George A. Romero, I'm never going to ask this man this question, but like, I don't know if he meant to write a gay love story like that, but to me, like, I read it as these two guys were like really into each other and like cared about each other a lot, you know what I mean? And it's, for me, it's like being able to see queer people in old art is important. So, and that about does it for today. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed the podcast, tell your friends about us, and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and rate us 5 stars in whatever app or podcast service you use to bring on the spooks.
Please follow us on our socials by going to scarymovienights.com or looking us up on any platform. You can also message us through our socials or by sending an email to spooky@scarymovienights.com.
Tell us in the comments what you think about Dawn of the Dead in 1978. How many bandanas would you wear? I'm Joanne.
And I'm Mariana.
And thanks for joining us for another Scary Movie Night. See you in 2 weeks.
Stay spooky.
Hey.
I kept thinking it said bananas. How many bandanas would you
How many
wear?
bandanas would you wear?
Yeah, that was good.